Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers. Right?
No judging. No
Yeah.
judging.
The millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.
OMG, baby, tell them.
Hey there, welcome to One Take, powered by backers. I'm Justin Fox. I'm joined by Mark Holowaychuk. Mark, thank you very much for joining me on the show today.
So happy to be here, Justin.
Awesome. So all the way from the beautiful Oakville, you said, right?
Yes.
I was about to say beautiful Burlington, because that kind of rhymes, but beautiful Oakville. It's sort of like the other side of the tracks, the good side of the tracks, right?
It's all good.
It's all good. The good side of the bridge, although they're both the good side of the bridge. So anyways, I'll do a quick little intro here. So Mark, you are a serial entrepreneur, founder of Vitamart.ca, which is one of Canada's leading online health stores. Actually, when I read the bio, I had some ideas. I ran a home healthcare equipment retail brick and mortar, which we should have done online, not brick and mortar. Mistakes made, lessons learned, right? But you've since expanded your ventures to include Salad Nation, which is a super delicious custom salad delivery restaurant. And is it PAX? P-A-A-X?
Yeah,
PAX.
Yeah.
A health optimizing personalized vitamin pack subscription company. And you believe everyone should have access to not just health, but personalized health, and that fast food ought to be healthy. So where should we begin? As I mentioned, I had a brick and mortar retail home healthcare equipment. So it's more like equipment. You're more on the vitamins and health nutritional side of things. I guess, where should we begin? Should we begin, like, what got you in? I'll just throw it to this. What got you in to sort of the online with Vitamart? What got you into that space?
Sure, yeah. So back it up. I've always been that kid that loved business. Like,
okay.
Since from I can remember, I was the kind of kid that would beg my mom to take me to Costco to buy like a tin of those 5-cent candies, and I would go and sell them at garage sales. I would sell them on the street, and I loved business. I loved sales. I loved the whole fun of building and selling hockey cards and all that kind of stuff. So always into that. Right. And then as I got older, I really fell in love with two things: health and the internet. Those were two things that I absolutely loved. I loved working out, especially when I was in high school, working out and getting fit and lifting weights and all of that. Right. And then as I got into was in school, I'm like, okay, internet is getting bigger and bigger, and I can see there's things going on. And I really love the thought of providing an excellent customer experience or service through the internet. I just thought that was just such a magical thing that you could do it at scale and be able to help so many people versus that one-on-one person-to-person transaction.
The one-to-many kind of aspect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I love the thought, and just that dream of making money while you sleep just seems so exciting, and like, oh, I can do that. And obviously everyone who has online stores or does business online, it's not that easy. It's actually harder in many ways, but that was always kind of the driving force. And as I got more into it and kind of building some websites and experimental, I thought, wow, I really like this. I'd like to have a business online, e-commerce. And so I thought a lot about what I was going to do. And because
when did you start Vitamart? Like what sort of time frame are we talking?
Vitamart was in 2005.
2005. Okay, so it's been a while then. Okay.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's like what? If my math serves me, 16 years?
16 years.
Give or take.
Yeah. And so from there, I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna something in health. So I was at the same time, I used to shop in health stores, to walk in health stores, and because there weren't really online health stores at the time, and shopping at them, and then started to look online a little bit, and there were just a few scattered websites that they're both brick and mortar and online. And I shopped at one, and the experience was awful. I ended up getting the wrong stuff, ended up taking like 3 weeks to arrive. They missed something. It was awful. And then I found out that the actual warehouse they shipped from was 30 minutes from my house. And I thought, okay, we can definitely do this better. Like, I can definitely do this better. So with kind of my, in a sense, my life savings, I hired a company to build and code the website because it didn't have Shopify and all the kind of stuff we have now.
Oh, yeah.
And had them go and code me a website and build all this custom stuff. And I had to convince the different suppliers and all the companies that I was a real store. So like most of them, I met just in like a mall food court and just said, hey, I'm this new store. I want to start buying your product. They're like, why aren't we meeting in your store? I'm like, well, we don't have one. So again, like really early days. That was the whole kind of getting going. And right from the get-go, it was different and unique. And we were, I think, maybe one of the only, or maybe the first, like online only health store in Canada.
Wow. So it's interesting. So I mean, obviously, Shopify, I remember looking at that like mid 2010, like 2012, 2013. So you were like 7, 8, 9 years before that, right? So yeah, you're talking about building a website when, websites were not as easy to build. Right now, it costs a lot more. And then, yeah, I remember when we opened up, we had a brick and mortar trying to convince suppliers to, vendors to take you on, especially when you were new. So what were some of the things that you encountered like early on in the online space? And I remember I have a sort of a part two is more, you talked about sort of providing better service. What were some of the things that you felt were key or that you implemented to facilitate that, right? That made sure the orders were fulfilled properly, right? And things got done. Like what were, I guess, what were some of the hurdles you overcame, and what were maybe some of the things that you were able to implement that enabled you to provide that better service?
Yeah, for sure. Well, again, thinking back to the experience that I did have with the other store, it was the wrong items, they missed product, it was slow. I launched the business in my basement, and overhead, keeping overhead low is key. I launched it in my basement, and because I was doing everything, like I was the one answering the calls, I was the one receiving the product, I was packing the boxes, I was shipping it, and I was also working full time at the same time.
Okay.
So I'd be doing this in the morning before work, I'd be going home at lunch hours to do pack picking, shipping, and I'd be going in the evenings and doing it. But the thing that I found the biggest challenge was speed and accuracy. So in the beginning, like speed and accuracy, more so on speed. Speed is something that I think we're seeing it now. No one's ever going to say
same day delivery.
Yeah, no one's ever going to say
the next hour it's going to show up, kind of thing.
Yeah,
they're almost at that, right?
Yeah. And like back then, standards were much lower, and so you could have an online store, someone could ship you something in 3 weeks and it arrives and you'd be, oh, I'm just thankful I got it. Now, so much of these things are just standard and mandatory, but even then, so looking at things like order accuracy, speed, and all that, because it was just me, well, one, it was all in my control. So I could really just hustle the heck out of everything. I was, how
many orders would you be receiving? Maybe not like early on, but let's say in that first year on a daily basis, like how you're saying you're doing it all alone, like how many orders are you picking and packing on a daily basis, would you say?
Yeah. So I remember the first month we did $500 in sales.
Okay.
That was month one. And each order, I don't know, give or take $100.
Right.
So in a whole month we were doing 50 orders.
Right.
So as it went from 50 orders a month to 200 orders a month to 500 orders a month and things like that. So it ended up really being like I was able to kind of scale it on my own for a few years, not needing help. Just in that, like
until your basement was overflowing or your boxes were in the upstairs.
The boxes started going into the main floor of the house.
Yeah,
exactly. So I was always really ambitious with that. I have one like really kind of quick story. I was doing shaker cups, the kind of shaker cups like this, shaker cups. And I did private label ones, and I was ordering them, and I tried to find some companies locally in Canada. I couldn't find any. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna order direct from China. So I go and order direct from China, and they talk about dimensions and sizes, how many, and they're like a 20-foot container. I'm like, okay, well that seems modest. 20-foot container, 20 feet's not that big. So I'm living in this little tiny townhouse in Edmonton where I grew up.
Okay.
And basically this guy knocks on my door and says like, your order's here. And I come outside and this big
Tractor
truck backs
trailer.
this container, backs it right into my front of all these townhouses in this little tiny parking lot. And he goes, okay, here you go. So I had to go and unload this whole truck, and basically all the boxes just stacked in the parking lot. There was a crowd of people. They couldn't back out their cars. Like the property managers there going, what's all this stuff? I had to stuff them. And she's like, where are you putting all these? I'm like, I'm just putting them in the townhouse. And she's like, she knew the size of it because they're all the same size. She said, there's no way.
Right.
So I ended up having to stuff them in. They were in the kitchen. They were in my bedroom. They were in the basement. Backyard, I had a little path.
Tarp them over the backyard.
Yeah,
I guess you're in Edmonton,
Well, I had to literally walk a little path to get to my kitchen, to get to the fridge, to get upstairs, because I had boxes lined the entire thing. So there's definitely a lot of learnings, I guess, even from managing inventory and what quantities I needed for things. So
it's interesting. You're talking 2005. Like, how did you? Obviously, anyone that's watching now, you've got Alibaba, you've got, all these different ways to get supply or product or inventory. How did you even connect with a supplier in China to even be able to get that order, confidently? Obviously there's, you hear horror stories, especially early on, but, how were you able to even go about that? Did you have a connection there, or did you just give me because I think it's always interesting to see sort of the pioneers, what were the steps? Is it literally just pick up a phone, send an email? I don't even know where would you begin back in 2005 to connect with a company that sold the product you're looking for across the world?
You're basically looking at the internet and going and reaching out to these different factories that make plastic goods. So you're looking in whether it was Alibaba back then in a really early stage or something like that. Just you're looking at a directory, and the thing is, when you're first starting out, you're not going there, so you really have to.
You weren't flying there.
You're wiring all the money in advance and hoping this company sends you money.
Exactly.
And so, definitely reaching out to a ton. That was the first thing. But then, end of the day, once you talk to them, and even then, I don't even know if we even talked to them. It might have just been email. You have to just go with the feeling that you get. Sometimes you get a good feeling. Sometimes you don't get a good feeling. And luckily, we had a good feeling. And what's crazy is that same company that we'd started with. We still do business with them now.
Oh, okay,
we still do shakers with them, and that business has grown into quite an amazing relationship. But it
have you gone over since?
I have. I've met them. I've gone over a couple times actually to meet them now, and that's a whole game changer of fully understanding it. But there's a lot of trust, and it's really easy to get burned in something like that.
Interesting. So another question I have. So I'm kind of fascinated by it. I think we're probably similar in age, and I looked at stuff like this back then and never did it, maybe for whatever reason, but I look at it. So you talk about the boxes in the house. So what was the sort of breaking point where you were forced to, I'm assuming you're not working out of your basement anymore, right? What was the point where you kind of because I think this is an interesting point for a lot of businesses. As you expand, you don't want to over kind of there's a point where you need to expand, but you also don't want to do it too early, too late. So what is your advice to people coming up, and what were maybe some of the lessons you learned, or when did you actually do that expansion?
Yeah, there's definitely a fine dance of expanding to have capacity for growth and kind of maintaining your overhead. So I've always operated businesses from a low overhead standpoint, especially in the beginning. And so working out of my basement, we didn't get our own warehouse for three basements. I moved 3 separate basements, bigger places when I moved, and transported the goods from that. So that I think it's an easy thing to jump into. Well, I have a business, I need space, or I have this, I need this formal thing, or I need a team, or I need, there's so much that can be done to prove the concept in such a low risk way. So it's always been that minimal viable product approach, or how can we get this running? Actually, Salad Nation is a great concept, or like ready-made restaurant business, like that how can you do it with a minimal amount of team, minimal amount of work,
sort of the lean
easiest task.
concept.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, lean startup, exactly. That whole concept. And so we've always had it where we've definitely, like, I remember even the first warehouse that I did move into, I shared space. Like, I have a friend who, my best friend actually shares similar business philosophies as that. And we ended up sharing a little tiny space that was about 700 square feet. Right. He was in there and he's like, well, why don't you just move in here? I'm like, well, that's great. Let's just share the cost. And so the key though is, and I think this is something that I've learned with time, is that there is a point where you impede growth by trying to be too lean and too cheap. Like, sometimes I'm just too cheap, and I have been in the past where I don't want to hire that extra person because I don't want to even take on that really low hourly wage or whatever it is, or even hire a contract person. And I'm just going to take it on myself. And that's where you as the business owner start taking on too much of the frontline things, is where you do impact the growth from actually that overhead. And so, because there are certain things within the business where someone who's an entry-level person could be doing, and whether they're in-house or it's like freelance or data entry or whatever that is, where you then can go that phrase, delegate then elevate. So by delegating these frontline things and taking on a little bit more overhead, you then can elevate to these different things that you should be doing. Actually, you're growing the business. And so this is a mistake that I still make now, and it's easy to fall into the trap of being an entrepreneur, just wants to hustle and just go, and I'll just throw it on my back. We don't need anyone else. But you really do slow down your growth when there's things that you could replace, especially now with how easy it is to have freelancers to help, like Upwork or these different things, to be able to have them help with your business while you can go and focus on the things that are generating sales and allow you to grow.
Interesting. So I have a sort of a tie into that, the Upwork and sort of the contractor side. So you mentioned the early website. I'm assuming it's gone through many iterations over the years. You don't have to reveal secrets, but like, what type of platform is your website built on now, and how difficult has it been to kind of get from there to where you're at now?
Yeah, it's good. So the key secret that I'll give away is you can find out anyone's platform. There's a good website called I think it's builtwith.com.
Okay.
So builtwith.com shows everyone's platform, so you could see what anyone's platform is. So yeah, so from the initial stage of website, again, very, very archaic, like everything's manual,
rudimentary,
coded and all that kind of stuff. So I've actually worked with a lot of different platforms now. So back in the day, there's a platform called Xcart that's like similar to Magento. If you're familiar with Magento, I always call it poor man's Magento, because it's a really like basic. It initially was a Russian company, and they, anyways. So that, and then from there, I've tried Shopify, BigCommerce, WordPress. I don't have a lot of experience, but I've used it. I've dabbled in Wix, and then even Magento 2. So Magento 2 is what we use now. And another site too is Shopify. So definite trade-offs on the platforms. It depends how much customization you want to do, how much you want to manage things like on-site security and like compliance and things like that. Shopify is beautiful because it's really that all-in-one kind of secure, built for you. You're able to get extensions and plugins and kind of be able to customize your site in certain ways. Other ways it's quite challenging because the code is kind of set in a way. Whereas in something like Magento 2, you have to take care of more things, especially if you're using one of their versions of it, where you have to provide your own hosting, and you have to make sure like about security and updates and security patches and all that kind of stuff. So I see the advantages of both. I use both, but it really depends how involved you want to get in technically to whether you use something other than Shopify.
Interesting. And then from a logistics standpoint, you have a warehouse staff and whatnot. from logistically, so how do you plug into that? Like, what do you use from a sort of logistics backend? Is that built into Magento too, or?
Yeah, so we're using it right through the website. So you
Yeah?
can get different kinds of plugins and extensions and modules and things like that to plug in. So that's how we have it. Ours is quite customized for whatever reason. Things like expiry dates aren't necessarily common pieces to software. Like usually any kind of logistics software, you're not managing something that's perishable, and so you need something that's a bit more kind of specialized.
Right.
So that was part of it. But yeah, honestly, websites now are built so well. The platforms are so great that even with some minor add-ins and modifications, because we have 2 locations too. So we have a warehouse in Oakville and we have a warehouse in Edmonton.
Okay.
We're able to kind of figure out all the wherever you order from the front end. It's a seamless experience, but it could be coming from one of our warehouses and being split up, and kind of all that stuff happens behind the curtains.
Cool. Side note: are you an Oilers fan or a Leafs fan?
Oilers. 100%.
There you go. I got little gloves up there.
I didn't even notice that. I love that. So when I moved here, I've been in Ontario now 8 years.
Okay.
Oilers.
I grew up in the 80s, so Messier, Gretzky. I'm from Toronto, but sort of grew up in the 80s and became an Oilers fan. So sort of stuck with it. But it's actually not good to be either fan of either team at this point, right? But kind of very disappointing early outs there.
Tough luck for both.
Yeah, exactly. I was pretty disappointed. But anyways, moving forward. So Salad Nation, talking about perishable items. Tell us a little bit about, I mean, that's obvious. I'm assuming Salad Nation, is that online? No. Tell us what Salad Nation is. Yeah,
so Salad Nation was a concept. So a business partner and I, the story actually comes from Dubai. So we were in Dubai for a trade show, like a fitness trade show. And my business partner, he's someone that's not necessarily always on track with healthy eating and things like that. And so he's someone, he would love to eat.
I feel that way too.
Snickers bar and a can of Coke would be like a beautiful meal.
That's lunch.
A beautiful meal. And so we're setting up the booth of the show, and he comes to me and says, did you check out that salad place out in like the hallway area? And I'm like, salad? Like, salad? What are you talking about, salad? So sure enough, I go and eat there, and it's this beautiful salad place. There was just totally custom salads. There's nothing else on the menu, just a custom salad. You can't order anything else. And but they had all these ingredients, all these dressings. It was amazing. So no matter what you wanted to eat, you could have that. And him and I are eating and going, wow, like we don't have anything like this in Canada that's like this level. We should bring this concept to Canada. So this was in November, December of 2019. So and then we're like, okay,
good timing for COVID.
Yeah, right? We bring it to Canada. So we're like, okay, let's do it. Yeah. So we ended up starting off in early 2020. We're getting the wheels rolling, and all that. We get kind of app development started and all that, and then we find out that there's actually companies in the US that are doing that exact concept and really successful. So we go, yes, this is awesome. We're super excited. So the concept is super delicious custom salads for delivery. So it's a delivery app based custom salad restaurant.
Right.
There's no walk-in. Not that I guess walk-in on Ontario is normal anyways now, but there's no walk-in. There's nothing. You download the app, you order the salad is delivered to you. And actually we really were able to come up with a really great arrangement where we teamed up with a restaurant that was actually shuttered because of COVID temporarily. And so we're actually based in Port Credit. So we actually have a Port Credit pickup location. We have a Port Credit pickup location. And we're actually just about to open. So it's a brand new concept. We're just about to open, but it's we did the math on the number of combinations of salad you can get. It's actually 10 million different salad combinations. So we have so many toppings, so many ingredients, so many dressings, so many bases. And all we serve is 3 things: custom salad, drinks, and natural cookies. That's it. That's all we have. But we have a huge selection of all these things. And so no matter what your eating preference or lifestyle or any of that, you can have the most amazing, delicious salad delivered to you. And you don't have to you don't have to succumb to maybe some unhealthy options or things that maybe are
Right.
maybe just as convenient, but aren't as good for you.
So sorry, just not to. So you did launch in January or in that early 2020, or you held off?
We were building, and so
Yeah.
when COVID hit back in March,
Yeah.
we go, okay, wow, this concept is even more relevant now. So
Right.
we had wanted to do all this pre-COVID, and then when COVID happened, we thought, wow, a delivery-based health food, like healthy fast food restaurant,
Right.
like just was absolutely perfect timing. And so the app itself is done. We're just getting ready to launch it. We have the restaurant location that's done.
Right.
The website's up. The app will show up next week in Google Play.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
so
the
get
App
it here
Store.
first. There you go.
Exactly. So
Salad
this is the
Nation.
first.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Honestly, it's the first time that I've publicly talked about it.
Awesome.
We are just ready to launch, and it all came from that concept of fast food should be healthy. There's so much unhealthy fast food, and we get that, and everyone knows that. Why isn't there way more healthy fast food that's absolutely delicious? And it just doesn't exist.
It's true. It's true.
It really is hard to come by.
So okay. So is there a delivery? Sorry, are you partnered with any I don't want to say any other delivery methods, but is there a catchment or sort of like a geographic boundary? I mean, if your restaurant's in Mississauga, I'm in Scarborough, am I able to order it, or what's? Yeah,
great question. So you can order a couple ways. One is through the app. And the other is we're going to have other different meal delivery companies. So we'll have Uber Eats. Uber Eats. That'll be.
I didn't want to say it.
No, for sure. Just in case we didn't do it. So Uber Eats for sure, and we'll be adding the other meal delivery services. So from that standpoint, how the different companies work, typically it's a radius of around anywhere from 15 kilometers to 15 minutes, depending on kind of how that works. And so for us, for delivery, it's about a 15-minute drive. Like we're right in Port Credit, right on Lakeshore. So
I used to play at the arena right there. I played Mississauga Tomahawks lacrosse.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
So
I'm very familiar with the area. Yeah.
So it's right there on Lakeshore, right in
like
smack dab middle of Port Credit downtown there. But for pickup, anyone can order. So it just depends. Drive out. So I'm in Oakville. I'm not in the delivery area either. So I gotta go. So I gotta go pick up to go get it.
Right.
You order. So for pickup and delivery, you just order right on the app.
Right.
You can choose pickup. You can choose different days and times and say, I want to have.
That's cool.
I want to have my salad sent to me on Friday at noon or whatever it is. So again, really, really technology based. And that's the thing, is making it easy and simple. Because anytime it comes to where you're hungry, it's so easy to want to get something that's really, really convenient and kind of the old tried and true, whatever fast food place or whatever it is. The whole goal was to make it fast. So it's healthy, fast food, super simple to order, but absolutely mouth-watering, delicious. You can have the best salad of your life. And actually, my wife and I were just doing a taste testing the other week, and she said word for word, it's the best salad that I've ever had.
That's
and
awesome.
So food's absolutely delicious to be able to have healthy fast food.
Cool. So not to, I guess, for you to give away trade secrets. It's cool that you had the delivery, and obviously COVID kind of played in. What's the vision sort of long term? Do you see this having multiple locations, obviously catering to a larger geographic area, maintaining the delivery, or do you see it being a combination of obviously the delivery, but also, having sort of what you just said, walk-in, state, like actual physical locations? What's your, without giving away your,
I'm definitely fine to chat. I'm so fired up about the concept. We see hundreds of delivery locations all over the country. We see a coast to coast, again, a salad nation. All over the country. Salad's one of those beautiful foods that
I love the name. The name's amazing.
It's fun. Citizen of Salad Nation. And it's one of those things that even myself, I love salads, but get me to buy all the ingredients and make it and buy the exact amounts and nothing goes to waste. It's impossible, really. We envision having that healthy, delicious salad accessible to everyone. And to do that, it's to have the same concept like we have. Like we want to have one in Oakville. My business partner is based in Alberta. We want them in Edmonton. We want them all
Like
over.
franchises, basically.
Well, yeah, we really see that like healthy food, healthy fast food should be accessible to everyone, and really it isn't. Like there really aren't a lot of options, and it's hard to get, and it's really easy to go with what's simple and fast and tried and true, and whether it's a fast food place, or just stopping at a convenience store or whatever that is. So we are really on a mission to make fast food, healthy fast food accessible to everybody.
Perfect. So just I'm gonna tell my wife, because my wife I love salad too. I'll be honest, I also love steak, but so I'm not one or the other. But when does it actually open? Because I'd love to come out, be one of the first to come out there. Yeah. When does it actually open?
Yeah, for sure. So the apps are in the approval process.
Okay.
So let's say
like, is the restaurant open right now? Like physical location?
The physical location is standing there. It's there. The kitchen's there. Everything is set up. We just need the apps to get pushed live to the App Store. So
you can start processing orders.
Let's say July 1st.
Okay.
Let's say July 1st.
Why don't you do this? Send me a message, and then I'll update everyone, and then we'll do an update when we put out this video.
I give myself a little buffer here, July 1st. So I think it's gonna be next week, but I don't want to say that. And so
that's all good. I mean, I've been saying our app's gonna be out for like 3 weeks. We're doing Backers 2.0, and
nice.
it's been delayed now 2 weeks. So I mean, technology always takes a little longer than anticipated, and it's good to obviously work out the kinks, but cool.
It's twice as long and twice as expensive is what you think.
Exactly. That's every aspect of business, especially with startups. So I appreciate you joining me here, Mark. I know we didn't touch on PAX, but do you want to touch on PAX or tell us a little bit about that?
Maybe another time, but I'll just touch, I guess, really, really briefly on it. So PAX, the other kind of nagging thing in my head has always been with health when it comes to as a whole, especially on the natural health side. Health is very generic. It's either you hear about something, you go, oh, I'll try that. You read about something, oh, I'll try that. You go into a health store, even you go into vitamart.ca, you're still taking something off the shelf.
Right.
And it's really hard to know, what do I use? Maybe you get to see a naturopathic doctor or someone specialized that provides one-on-one treatment, but how many people get to do that? So when it comes to health, the health should be personalized. Everyone should have access to personalized health.
Right.
And so that was the whole mission behind PAX. And so that one we're in the middle of. That one's launching later on in the year. It's launching in the fall.
Okay.
But it goes to that whole premise of health ought to be healthy. Health ought to be personalized.
Right.
And so how that one works, just from a very basic, is you take a really simple but very, very science-based health assessment.
Right.
That kind of asks you all kinds of different things about your lifestyle, about your health, about different symptoms and things that you'd experience in your day-to-day. And then from there, we have a whole formula and algorithm that actually takes that, actually produces the actual nutritional deficiencies that you currently have, and then matches you up with actual vitamins and nutrients and herbs that match into that. So it's really that next evolution of health, of just like versus just, okay, well, I'm just going to take a bottle of pills and I'm just going to use it, and not to actually knowing exactly what Justin needs. These are ideal for Justin, personalized health for Justin. And again, PAX will continue to evolve to have a more and more.
I might break the algorithm, I'll be honest. But
that's what the algorithm is for, to put it to the test. And honestly,
it's unhealthy, very unhealthy. But that sounds very cool. So, and that's coming out in the fall then.
That's in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah, pax.com.
Cool. Well, Mark, I really appreciate you joining me here today. Definitely going to check it out. Salad Nation, keep us up to date. We'll put a little link out, especially link it to this video when that happens. But I'll end it off here. Usually I ask people one sort of question here. If there was sort of one word, one piece of advice that you would give to a younger you, kind of coming up, obviously to other people that are coming up now, what would that one word or piece of advice be?
Definitely, don't do it all yourself. Entrepreneurship's a team sport, and only now with Salad Nation and PAX am I actually realizing that the team that you have is the most important piece. you can do a lot on your own. You can be Superman and do so much on your own. But your business will only really take shape and flourish and scale with having a team of people around you and the right team of people around you.
Perfect. So teamwork, as my son says, and I've said it before, that's why he repeats it. Teamwork makes the dream work.
I love that phrase.
Right?
That totally is it. Don't do it all yourself. I made the mistake. You run yourself into the ground, and what you think you're saving money on. And there are places absolutely to save your money, and I'm pro bootstrapping 100%. But when it comes to really doing the business, and there's people who are way better at certain things than you are, and I have lots of things that I'm not good at. It's finding the right people and kind of building that out in a win-win scenario for everyone.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Mark, again, thank you very much for joining me. Justin Fox, Mark Holowaychuk. This is One Take, powered by Backers. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks, Mark. Really
Thanks so much, Justin. Loved it. Appreciate it.
Talk soon. Hopefully I'll be out there to grab.
I'll see you there. That sounds great. I love it.
Awesome. We should meet up. We should do a live stream.
Totally do live stream. Salad Nation. 100%.
Let's
totally
do
good
it.
with that.
Awesome. Cool. Anyways, see you guys again soon. Hey there. Welcome to One Take, powered by Backers.
Right? No judging. No judging.
The millennials are really changing that.
Is charm. No.
All success begins with desire.
I feel like I'm on fire right now.
OMG, baby.